Easter time, there's obviously a lot of chocolate involved, whether that be through Easter egg hunts or you might be getting chocolate as a present. Now, of course, enjoy yourself on Easter Day, but there are remnants of Easter Day that carry over into the weeks and months even that follow Easter. The problem with that, and what I mean by that, is you've still got chocolate and all this other food lying around your house that are leftovers from Easter. And you're going to be constantly tempted to eat those things because they're in your vicinity. Now, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have some level of fitness goals or goals in the gym or trying to change your body somehow. And having these leftover chocolates and other types of food that stay in your house after Easter can be destructive to your progress. For me, at every Easter and at every other major holiday as well, it might be Christmas, it might be Thanksgiving, even after the holiday, you still have all this food that just stays in the house after the holiday. And you find yourself just nibbling here and there after dinner, after lunch, or randomly throughout the day, you're snacking on these things purely because they're just in your house and you're probably just bored. Having these sweets in your house and eating them is obviously going to be a constraint to your fitness progress. And I want to try and limit the damage that Easter and also other holidays do on your fitness journey. Okay, so how do you stop nibbling and snacking randomly on the sweets that are left over from Easter? Literally, right now, if you can think of maybe a chocolate egg or there's some random packet of chips or some random garbage food that's currently in your house, I want you to pause this video right now and go and throw it in the bin. I'm still waiting. Why haven't you done it yet? Okay, so cool. You're clearly not really that into achieving your fitness goals. That's fine. But seriously, throwing sweets into the bin is obviously a bit of a waste of food and you might feel bad for doing it. And you might, of course, be living with other people that are not going to appreciate you just throwing food into the bin. So fair enough. But the way you can deal with having these types of food in the house, but not be tempted to indulge in them, is a method called increasing friction between you and eating the food. So what I mean by this is you want to make it as difficult as possible for you to relapse and indulge or eat whatever junk or garbage food is currently in your house. One method of doing this might be putting the food into another room. And that room might be a room that you don't normally go into. So because that food is now in a room that you don't go into, you're not as exposed to that food and therefore not as likely to relapse and eat that food. You could also potentially hide it. But if you're the one that's going to hide it, then you obviously know where it is. So it might not be the best option. What you can do though is perhaps put it in a place that's less conspicuous and therefore you're less likely to make eye contact with that food and therefore less likely to eat it. So while you might know where it is, you might not be going to the location where the food is as often. And of course, as I've said, you're going to be less likely to eat that food. And now this last hack, I'll call it, or method to increase friction between you and the food is by getting rid of it completely, but not by you eating it, nor by you throwing it out. And it's potentially a bit unethical, but I don't really think so. And that method is, if you ever have anyone visiting your house and you're kind of this host that wants to make it the best experience possible for your visitors or your guests, you put out this food that you don't want in your house anymore for your visitors, and then they eat it. So in a way, you're making your visitors make the food that you don't want to eat. But ultimately, you're being a good host, but at the same time, you're getting rid of food that's counterproductive for your goals. So you're killing two birds with one stone. And I don't really think it's unethical because your guests have a choice as to whether they eat it or not. And I do apologize if you are watching this and you happen to be a victim of this hack of mine. Yeah, so hopefully you've learned from my mistakes at Easter time and you don't fall victim to the kind of hangover that is Easter. So if you learned anything, please consider subscribing. We're getting to 1,000 subscribers soon. Also, feel free to drop a like, drop a comment, and I'm always happy to hear your thoughts on the subject. Now, if a goal of yours is to build an aesthetic physique and you don't really know what to do at the gym or what to do with regards to your nutrition, I offer one-to-one coaching. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description where you can book a 30-minute call with me and we'll see if we'd be a good fit. That's all from me. I'll see you later.